Goes on the road because that's all those games.
Chiefs are down to 51. So I expect there to be. That's before the check.
Exactly.
So I expect as many as.
Okay.
6, 8, 7, 8. Me too.
Yeah. But now when the starter throws like has a 25 pitch inning in the first or second, it goes, uh-oh. You get out of it unscathed, but you know the bullpen's gonna come in later.
You can't do the fix the whole thing there, right? Today's my day to take care of that. Get in there. Get in there. Put some dip in your mouth. Get crafty.
Pesky Chiefs.
Yeah, actually, left-handed to be crafty.
You do.
You can be a crafty right hand.
Yeah, you
You'll be like 36.
You'd be a herky jerky. You'd be a herky jerky right here.
Oh, absolutely. Johnny Guido.
Louis T. on
Louis.
the
Yeah.
Turkey is.
The herky jerky, I always think of it as like that.
like a Japanese pitcher.
Or, who was the guy on the Pirates, your Pirates, in the early 70s, left-hander. Not Kent Colby, but I'm thinking of the left-hander.
Who said Kent Cole?
Just rattled that right off.
Dennis Evans.
Oh.
He's old
I'd
enough.
like to know people who remember Kent Cole.
I remember Kent Cole, yeah.
I know Blair remembers him.
Dang it, who was the left?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Remember.
want to say
All right,
Willie.
Neil Jones.
I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, but they were always like sunglasses.
Yeah, they
The
were
only
like
reason I have
like
herky
the
jerky
Dick
was
Lee
yeah,
And they were those cruising uniforms.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
the hats with the-
it comes from nowhere else, and it was always
His
about.
pillbox hat looked bigger than the other. I go back to how these people do.
Helmet, boy, you're always like a couple years ahead of me, just in general, but also on these things.
Blair's favorite player when he was growing up was Gene Alley, right?
Roberto. There's never anybody better than Roberto.
That's Bob Clemente.
How old was he when he joined?
What do you call him,
He
Bobby?
was still playing, right?
Yeah. My first game I ever attended was at Shea Stadium. They played the Pirates and so, and then they did a double. Wow. I remember that.
Who was it that you got the handshake from? Because you didn't ask for the autograph.
Jim Palmer. Henry Aaron was there, but not give me a handshake.
Oh, when he was taking
Just brush.
Blair got used to getting brushed off. by
Yeah.
pro athletes.
Butt hurt.
I gotta do this.
I think I told you Harold Carmichael scolded me because I'd already gotten his autograph. I was just grabbing every people player I could. He goes, "Know your ball player, son. You already got mine." I was like, "Wow." I think that's gonna happen there today.
Hey, you talked to me the other day. What the hell do you want now? Let somebody else have a turn.
Oh, man.
Know your ball players.
Some of the old Pirates ends up.
Know your Chiefs.
Frank Montag was a Pirate. Cookie Rojas was a Philly.
Yeah, he was a Philly, yeah.
He was a Giant. Yeah.
Mayberry, Astro, or Colt 45 or something.
He was an Astro. wasn't he?
I don't know if it was
Yeah.
ever a Colt 45.
How long was the Colt 45 era? 2 years?
A couple of years until they built the Astro.
Right.
Oh.
I think it was like
67, 66, 67. You know, they built the Astrodome, they actually had grass in it.
Didn't work, did it?
It didn't work on it.
turned out the glass.
Well, it was a glass roof.
Yeah.
Then they
The
had
guys
paint,
were losing fly balls.
and the grass was dying. It was like 1 billion degrees inside.
Built this greenhouse, baseball in a greenhouse.
Mike Schmidt hit a speaker up in like 73 or 74 up in the middle of the Astrodome. It was not in the ground rules. I think they did not know what to do with it.
What do we do?
I think they just played it off the speaker.
I think still standing.
It is.
Remember last time we were there?
It's next to Energy
And
Stadium.
how it's morphed by,
Yes.
It's like a little
You
toy.
look like 10 of them inside Energy
yeah,
Stadium.
it's crazy.
Anybody ever cover football in there? You must have covered football.
I was
Yeah, it had to be a loud place.
Covered the Missouri game.
That
once.
playoff game that she's
Yeah.
played there.
That was wild.
Yeah, I had a headache for it.
Really, really.
He's cashed through the football.
Funny ride. They weren't expecting no loss.
Love you, Blue.
Had their songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild. And it was only, I mean, just like,
You know what?
that is gone.
The Kingdom was really loud. too.
Yeah, I've covered football team. Dark. I remember the Kingdom was just dark.
Well, the Kingdom and the Astrodome were the same thing.
For not.
Yeah.
I see him.
Okay, as far as the injuries go, really Pacheco's the only one to announce. He's been put on IR. Is having surgery today. I can't give you a time when he'll return, but there's, we'll just see if it's this season or next season. We'll see how he does as he goes here. Other than that, there are no other injury. Everybody else will practice today. Look forward to the challenge of playing the Falcons. That's a great environment down there at their stadium, and Raheem's done a heck of a job with that group, which was obvious Monday night. So between Jimmy and Zach and Marquise, they've got great coordinators and coaches, and they've got good players on top of that. So we need to have a good week of practice starting today, and I know our guys are looking forward to the challenge of playing a good football team like this. With that, time's yours.
Randy, what are your plans for Green?
Yeah, so we'll get him in here and get some work, kind of get him back in the swing of playing, and then we'll just see. As the game gets closer, we'll see how things go there and so on. But we try to get him in a position where he's ready to play either this week, next week, or the following week. We'll just see how long it takes.
So a chance he could play in Atlanta.
Yeah, there's a chance. Yeah, gonna try to see where we're at as far as the other part. But we've got other guys that can jump in and play for him.
The Chiefs released him pretty quickly, as you know, after that video came out a few years ago. How do you reconcile that action with bringing him back now?
Yeah, so it's really, what we told him and publicly, we just thought he needed a change of scenery and get some help and take care of business there. And, we felt like he did that. He's, he did a nice job in Cleveland. And we talked to the people there, and there were no issues there. So, we felt okay by bringing him back. He's 29 years old now, so time flies. But he's 29 years old, and it looks like he's grown up some. So.
And is this the first time you guys have had this conversation about potentially bringing him back?
Where it was real, yes. Yeah.
What were your conversations with him like that gave you the confidence of what you just said?
Well, just calling around and making sure that things were okay. Pat stayed good friends with him, so he was at Pat's wedding, and so those two came out in the same class and developed a friendship here, and then their general manager spoke highly of him, so coaches and so on. So we felt good about it.
Did you need to have a specific conversation points with him that reassured you too?
So I was at the wedding. I talked to him there, and then I also talked to him before he got here and when he got here. So
Was it the type of thing where you felt like you need to speak specifically about the past?
no, just make sure that keep your nose clean, right? That's the important part, and go play football. And that's I think people deserve a second chance if they've done something to work on the first part of it.
If everything goes well on the field, right? If he's in shape and obviously takes the playbook pretty well, is there a specific role that you sort of see him? Whether that's easing him into those first few games, or is there something you can foresee for him that you can sort of define?
I want to see where he's at. I want to see him out there working today and where he's at. I'll probably have him doing more scout team stuff today than actually with the group. But let's see where he's at, and I'll be able to judge it better from there. He'll have some retention from the stuff that we've done here. So, and he's a sharp kid. He can pick everything up that's new. But let's get him started first and kind of see where we're at with him.
And generally speaking, this has been a tough 10 days or so injury-wise with the Brown news and Pacheco. Just what's the messaging to the guys that are left to play and moving forward?
Yeah, so listen, our hearts go out for those kids first, and both those guys love to play the game. But we're also fortunate to have good players here that can step in, and we expect them to step up and play. And that's a tribute to Brett and his staff.
You guys have elevated Keontae Ingram to the active roster at this point. What do you like about him?
Yeah, so he had a really good camp for us. Felt comfortable with him moving up, and like I said, you moved up, you're expected to be ready to play, and I think he's done that. He's worked hard on the scout team part of it, stayed in tune with the offense. He's in all the meetings, so felt he was ready for that.
Dave?
Going back to the part about the playbook, I wonder how much it has changed, and it's been quite a while, and you've got a whole lot of different personnel. What do you know coming back? How quickly do you pick it?
Yeah, he'll know the base protections. He'll know the base runs. Some of the routes are a bit new, but we're not flexing them out and making him do all that. So he's just got to, some of the terminology, he's just got to hear the route terminology. But right now it's job specific for that team. It's not like you're coming into training camp and you've got 300 plays. So he just has to make sure he stays in tune with that.
Blair? Andy, first road game, you guys, the franchise has been really good on the road, 10 years or so. What are the conditions that need to be created to have the mindset to be successful on the road?
This is a loud venue, so you got to be able to handle the noise. Then you have to come in with the right attitude. I mean, that's how it is. We try to keep it as consistent as we can with the travel part and times for meetings and such. So that's what we do. But every game's a challenge. So in itself, so whatever we did before doesn't matter for right now. So we just got to make sure that we prepare ourselves for it.
Last four, we'll start with Nate.
And you talked before about seeing statistical trends, sort of cycles of the NFL. I know it's just 2 weeks, but there's a lot of teams obviously passing the ball short, perhaps right at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. You guys are included in that. What are the benefits and what are some of the explanations as to why you think yourself and other teams are throwing the ball shorter than usual?
Yeah, some of it's the matchups according to coverage. Depending on what teams do, our run game was effective this past week, so we use that more than the down the field stuff, and so it just depends on the matchups. I think most people would tell you that some of the teams that are throwing down the field had a little bit more space and different coverages to work with, where they could do that.
Sam?
Andy, obviously Kareem's numbers last year, I'm sure what he wanted them to be. What did you see on tape from him last year in combination with the workout you guys had with him?
Yeah, so he had a sports hernia surgery done a bit ago. So he, I think he was probably affected by that, a little bit, just coming back off of that. So, but I still saw the burst, the toughness when he got back in there. And then we worked him out here and felt good about it. But we'll see. He's getting up there. The running back say he's 29 years old. That's for a running back, that's old.
Andy, did you ever think this reunion would ever happen before Pacheco's injury? Was there ever a thought that you might be able to coach a career again?
No, but I think we meant what we said, that, you need to take care of this. I mean, you can't, this isn't good as you go through life for anybody. And so, it seems like he has a grasp on that. And I know he's done good here since that point. And, I anticipate that continues. But, that if that wasn't the case, we wouldn't have brought him back.
We'll go the last two guys with Steve and then Matt. Go ahead, Steve.
Coach, in regards to Pacheco's surgery today, I believe it was 2005. T.O. had that same, fibula surgery. What do you remember about T.O.'s journey back that same season that you can share with Pacheco?
Yeah, he
I know it
attacked.
was 20 years ago.
No, I take a lot of fish oil. I thought that T.O. attacked it, and he was going to play in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's what he was going to do. And no matter what, he was going to play in that Super Bowl. So, between the chamber he was sleeping in and living basically with Rick all day, he was able to come back relatively quick. The thing you can learn from that is you attack the injury and stay positive with it. Everybody's different. But the fact that he wasn't going to be denied that opportunity. And Pacheco, like T.O., Pacheco's one of those guys that you have to back off, and I know this is how he'll do. He wasn't going to allow anybody to get him off of that field. If he had to crawl off of there, he was going to get off the field. So that's just how he's wired. But I would tell you that, within reason and the guidance of Rick, I know he'll get himself back and ready to go whenever that is, as fast as he can.
Matt?
Coach, it's National Cheeseburger Day. Do you have any plans to celebrate?
Yeah, McAfee just sent me a cheeseburger from McDonald's. I don't know. I thought that was unique. McAfee's unique. So I can't wait to enjoy it.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, good.
I didn't know it was National Cheeseburger Day. Can I ask a question?
Well, true. Ready to elaborate on something? Why is it working on it? I'm very cool. I thought I referred to like one question that was more than he wanted. And then he went with it.
I thought he'd be like, well, we changed our mind.
Yeah.
Times change.
Yeah, he elaborated way more than I thought he would, for sure. And frankly, in ways that I hope was I don't even know. I gotta retake this.
No, I agree.
And what?
The difference is we don't know what he can do in the last 6
Right,
months.
yeah.
All right, guys, go ahead and fire away.
Patrick, Andy said that you maintained a relationship with Kareem over the years. Just wonder what that journey's been like for him, from your perspective, over the time since he's left here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Kareem was a close friend of mine while he was here. Just being in the same draft class, everything like that. Came to my wedding, but obviously he went to Cleveland. Has had a good career there. has learned and become a better person. And I'm glad to have him back now. And let's get him accustomed to the offense and see how fast we can get him out there.
What have your conversations been like with him over the past couple of days?
Yeah, I knew he was coming into the building. Obviously, I know he had to go through his workout process and meeting with the coaches and Veach and everybody. But at the end of the day, man, I just root for the person to keep becoming a better and better person. And the football secondary, but I'm glad to have him back and in the building. And I gave him a high five and a hug when I saw him because it's a person that I used to spend a lot of time with a long time ago.
Patrick, when you left, I think the term you used was "we don't do those things." So I wonder how you found a way to balance both your friendship with him, but also to condemn the behavior. What that's like for a friend.
Yeah, I think anyone, everybody has friends that make mistakes, and obviously some are bigger than others. But at the same time, you want to make the person better. You want to see them taking the right steps to become a better person for themselves, their family, and the rest of society. And so I think you've seen that with Kareem. And so I've stayed in touch with him just to see how he's doing, how his family's doing, everything like that. And he's been able to carve out a great career in the NFL. But, you've seen he's been able to keep his nose clean and be a better person, and that's what you want in order to make everybody better people.
You and Brendan lockstep like draft film and always sharing things. What did you see on the tape? What can you reasonably expect production-wise on the field once he does get caught up?
Yeah, a guy that plays hard, plays physical, can catch the ball in the backfield, still has explosion in between the tackles. And so we have a lot of guys in that running back room now that are going to have a chance to kind of take up some of that role while Isaiah is out. But they're ready for it. And I'm glad that Veach has built such a great running back room, and adding Kareem is going to be another step in that of taking a vital role of this team until we can get popped back.
We didn't have a chance to ask Coach about what's happening at left tackle today. And what did you see, and what's it been like with Kingsley and Wanya over the last couple of days looking at film? And who do you expect to be out there with you?
Yeah, I don't make those decisions at the end of the day. I have a lot of trust in both those guys. I thought Kingsley had good snaps, had bad snaps. That's just part of the process of being a rookie going up against a great pass rusher. But I think you saw he took accountability. He's learning from it. And then Wanya's played snaps as well, and he's done great things. He's getting better and better. And so I think the coaches will, at the end of the day, make a determination they think is best for the team. But I trust both those guys, whoever's out there.
There are guys that are going to take the carries Pacheco had, but how do you replace, like, he just brought a different pop and energy. How do you replicate that and, I guess, replace that on the
Yeah, that's going to be everybody. That's not going to be just that running back room. You said it, the energy that he brings, the way he runs the football, the way he pops up, he's always positive mindset. That's going to take other guys to step up with. It starts with me. I got to bring that mindset. I got to play better football, put guys in better positions. But at the same time, I have to keep the energy going. And so that's a special thing that Pop does. I don't think one person can do that, have that amount of energy and play that hard. It really is a special characteristic of him. But I think the whole team can come together and bring that energy in his absence.
Patrick, you had to battle back from an injury with your knee. What was your message like for Pop to go through that?
Yeah, he loves the game, so he wants to be out there, and he put so much work into it. So I think at first, you obviously are upset that you have the injury, but if I know anything, I know that man's going to be getting after it. It's going to be more about the trainers having to hold him back than him not getting in and getting to work, because he loves it so much, man, and he's in the building, he's working, and I'm excited for the comeback, man, because he's going to come back ready to go whenever he gets back.
Patrick, how fast could you tell what had happened to him? And Andy made a point of saying he wasn't going to let anybody help him off the field. He's going to get off the field himself.
Yeah, I knew. I didn't see the tackle because of the angle that I was at. I've seen it obviously now. The fact that he popped up and he was like running off the field, and I think he was trying to get back on the field, and that just speaks to the type of competitor that he is. And so I didn't realize it was as serious of an injury until after the game, just the moment that we were in. But like I said, he's going to attack it, man, and he'll be back, I'm sure, sooner rather than later.
I was going to say, what's the mindset required to have success on the road? Is it different than just any other game?
I think the mindset is that you have to just come in with a mentality and really sharpen up on your details, which I think offensively we have to do anyways, starting with me. And so this is a good team, a lot of great players. I've played against a lot of these guys that are all in one spot now with a great defensive scheme, and it's going to be a great environment Sunday Night Football in Atlanta. So We're gonna have to sharpen up our stuff offensively. Defense is playing great; they're gonna keep playing good. But we gotta continue to get better and better at the little things, and so that we can go out there and just play free when we get there.
What are the challenges with going up against a Ricky Moore's defense, generally speaking?
Yeah, well, first off, his schemes. He has a really good scheme. He has a good understanding of defenses and what the offense is trying to attack in his defense. So I think that, along with he's very game plan specific. So even though he has his scheme and has things that he works on, he tries to take away what you're best at. That's what all the best defensive coordinators do. And now he's a head coach, and you can see just from the little interactions I've had with him and the interactions I've seen. I mean, he's a great leader. And I think that's something that every player that you see that's played on one of his teams, offense or defensively, has said. And so it's going to be a great challenge for us, man. And I'm excited for it.
Last couple, but Nate and Sam. But Nate,
Patrick, I'm sure you're aware of this, but you had a lot of passes that were either at or behind the line of scrimmage. Last week, it's starting to become a trend league-wide.
Yep.
What do you attribute it to, whether from your standpoint or just when you're watching other guys play?
Yeah, I think this last week in general, I didn't play to my standard, so I think I have to be better. There was some opportunities down the middle areas of the field that I think I missed. We hit obviously the deep one to Rasheed, but whenever teams take away the deep stuff, you have to throw it underneath, but you still have to have the ability to threaten the middle of the field. So that's something that I will continue to work on and get better at. And then limiting mistakes for myself. But I think across the league, I think teams are just going to make you drive the entire field. I think that's just kind of the thought process, and then trying not to let you score in the red zone. But there is opportunities out there, and you just have to execute at a higher level. There's not as many as maybe I've had previously.
Sam?
Similar question, maybe you just answered it, but you mentioned earlier that you have to get better at the details. Is it that just your selection of where to put the ball?
Yeah, that this with the tight zone coverages, kind of the match zone coverages that you're playing, the windows aren't big, and so you have to be on time. Even if you look at the first interception I threw, I think Travis had a window there. I just was late to that window, and so just being on time. And if you don't, the defenses are collapsing those windows quick, and so those are the little things that I have to be better at, of getting the ball there on time, accurately, and at not making the mistakes at the same time. So it's just stuff that you have to continue to work on throughout the season. But we got to be better, and I got to be better as the season goes on.
Thanks, Patrick. All right, guys, we got McDuffie coming up soon. What up, y'all?
Fire away.
Trent, what if you could just kind of discuss just generally how thin the margin has been for you guys? You're 2-0, you're feeling good, but it's come down right to the wire. Feel fortunate to be 2-0, or just you guys just know how to win these games?
Yeah, man, anytime you're 2-0 in this league is a great thing. I feel like there's a lot of things we got to clean up, technique-wise, flags. I mean, you guys see it, turnovers. On the defensive side, I think creating turnovers is a big thing we got to do. But, man, 2-0, no matter what, any way you win, you just want to get that win at the end of the day.
I know you guys have talked a lot about missing luxurious, but obviously now you were the go-to guy.
Yeah.
Just how do you feel like you've attacked that so far? Just 2 weeks self-eval in a sense.
Yeah, I think I'm doing my job good. Definitely things I got to clean up on the back end as far as communication, as far as technique-wise. Kind of still getting comfortable out there at the corner position and playing that role that Coach Spags wanted me to play. But I thought I did a good job at just making sure everybody knows where I'm at on the field. Having to travel, a lot of guys have to go to different places. So just being vocal about that and just letting people know where I'm at on the field is kind of something that I'm trying to work on a little bit better.
Can you sum up the defenses? You guys, the last couple of possessions, it's like you locked down and it was over for them.
Yeah. Man, Coach Spags always talks about the four most important drives of a game. It is the first drive coming out of first quarter and third quarter, and then the end of the game, second half and first half. But you need that fourth quarter. I mean, that's where you win games. No matter how much you're down, no matter how much you're up, it all comes down to those last few drives, because that's where the offense is going to give you the best plays. That's where all your mistakes kind of get cleaned up and all your checks after halftime come in. So really just focusing on being at your best in the fourth quarter, I think, is what we've done a great job at here, and something that we continue to work on each and every year.
Shirley, you mentioned being more vocal. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes from off the field. On the field, I mean, communication is communication, but kind of like during walkthroughs and in meetings and just throughout the week, just making sure everybody's clear on what my job is. Because, like I said, some of the things I do kind of changes what other people have to do, different positions, stuff like that. So making sure when we get on the field, everybody doesn't have to think. We can just go out there, play. They know where I'm at. I feel like will help us just become a better defense, just play faster.
What do you think the numbers tight ends have gotten against you guys here in the first couple of games have been more than you'd expect, I guess?
Mhm.
That they're just taking what you give them, or is there more to it with how the teams have attacked you?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit just how our defense has been playing, these first two games, the calls that we're given and just how the scheme has matched up. But we trust Reid out there, all the linebackers. And I think we're just going to continue to keep tacking these tight ends just how we always have.
There was a question of who's going to be the other primary cornerback. It's been Jalen. Just how he felt like he's done these first 2 weeks.
Man, I love that man. He's one of those dudes that you've seen it over these past 3 years. He just continues to just get better and better. Doesn't always make the play, doesn't always be in the right position, but as you just continue to watch the game, as you continue to just watch him, you can tell his confidence is getting there. You can tell his technique's getting there. And he's just one of those guys that just loves the game. He brings such good energy to the room, and I just love having him out there across from me.
You mentioned the last drive of the game. Atlanta had a wonderful last drive of the game for
Yeah.
them on Monday night. What did you see from them? Because they didn't have much going on the whole rest of the game. How were they able to kind of get that done? And what are they kind of troubles will they give you guys? Maybe?
Yeah, had a really good, like you said, end of the game drive. I thought they did good at managing the clock. I thought their play calls were good. They're able to get a few chunks in there, which as an offense, that's what you want at 2 minutes at the end of the game. Get those chunk plays so the clock kind of goes away. But on defense, I think in order to stop that, it's really just win your matchups, whether you're in man, whether you're in zone, making sure you know what they're attacking us with, knowing our weaknesses and knowing what Kirk Cousins likes to do. When it gets to the 2 minute, I feel like a lot of teams kind of just go back to their bread and butter plays, the things that they can just run efficiently so that they can get in, get out. And understanding what they like to do there, I think is the defensive advantage.
So I know during the game you can't watch what Chris Jones is doing, but I don't know how much he catches your eye on film, particularly just the influence he had in that second half against Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, when you got a guy like Chris Jones, I can speak from personal experience as far as like the nickel. Teams always look at him. They're always sending the line his way. They're always trying to get two guys on him. He's a factor, run game, pass game. So he's always going to account for two guys. So it leaves a lot of open holes for other guys to make plays, and also leaves chances for kind of like the end of the game when you seen the whole line slide toward Chris and Shamari came free on the blitz. Little stuff like that stats don't show and people don't always talk about, but it's so huge when it comes to the whole team and the 11 out there, just being able to just take pressure off other guys that they can make plays.
Trent,
Couple more.
In your second year last year, you took off, right?
Yeah.
Shamari's in his second year. Mentioned him a little bit.
Mhm.
Talk about his trajectory and how he's been playing.
Yeah. I mean, you see it when he's in there at nickel. It's not easy, especially someone who came in as a safety. He has to come down and play all these fast guys and read, run, read, pass, and play man to man. But he's one of those guys that just keeps stacking days. And I always talk about just be as consistent as you can be. And he's one of those guys all the way from last year. I mean, he didn't play a lot of nickel. He jumped in a lot in the end of the season. And it wasn't perfect at the beginning, but he just continued to ask the right questions. He's always talking to me. What do you see here? What should I do here? And the best part I love about Shamari is he's 100% whenever he's on the field. You always see max effort, great tackles. And he's just one of those guys that you want on the field because he's always around the ball and always making plays.
In your early study here, what have you seen from Drake London and what he can do?
Yeah. I actually played Drake when he was at SC when I was in college. So kind of know a little bit about him. He's a California guy, but big dude, really good hands. He's really good at boxing DBs out when he can, and definitely a threat, pass game. He can get down the field. He can stretch the field, red zone guy, but I think he's also really good in the run game. He can block really well. They like to run the ball to him a lot. So definitely one of those guys that if you let him just sneak in there, he can make a lot of plays on you.
Last one, anyone? Okay, thanks, Trent.
Appreciate y'all.
Big Ten football. USC Washington.